Hello, and we want to welcome you to the November taping of the Cannon County Chamber Connection. And of course, as usual, this is made possible by DTC Communications. Great partner for the community as well as the Chamber, and we appreciate the opportunity that they give us to showcase so many of our events and businesses and organizations in Cannon County. I don't know what I'd do without them, I really don't. We're making plans for a great holiday season, and they're approaching quickly. And we want to invite everyone out there to attend these holiday plans and events that they have, as well as our monthly things that we have every month. And everybody's intent, I'm going to tell you about some of those events in a few minutes. We did have our toy drive cruise in. We had a low number of cars, but oh my gosh, we had so many donations for toys. That was a great turnout. And of course, I want to thank our sponsors for that toy drive cruise in, and they were the Iron Pig Antiques, Jennings Jewelers, O'Reilly Auto Parts, and of course, the Chamber is always part of that. The toys go to our Angel Tree, that to give to the kids at Christmas time. And many of the businesses I know that Jennings and the Iron Pig, they collect these toys for weeks before that event. So that part was really good. But we'll come back with our cruise-ins next year, starting in April. And hopefully we can take them through the summer months. But that was a good turnout, and for all the car drivers that came and donated to that too. We do appreciate it. We have some guests with us today, and of course we have Mr. Robert Bush, and he is the newly elected president of the Cannon County Historical Society, and also the Cannon County historian, right, Robert?
That's correct, yes.
And you will have your next meeting. Do you meet every other month or every month?
Well, we meet 5 times a year, and we won't have another meeting until March. We'll meet on November the 14th at 7 o'clock at the Senior Citizens Center. And but normally it's about 5 times a year that we have meetings. Okay,
and you have a different guest, or you try to, for each one of those meetings?
We try to have a guest speaker. Normally someone locally we prefer. Sometimes we go out of the county and pick up, individuals that are student in the area of history and so forth to make a good presentation for us. But we try to have a guest speaker at each session of the meeting.
Who is your next speaker on the 14th?
Well, on the 14th, we have Greg Tucker, who is Rutherford County's historian, and he has written several books on Rutherford County, and he will be our next speaker. He is supposedly wants to speak on Reedyville and maybe the Porterfield areas of the county. You know, once Cannon County was formed, a large swath of Rutherford County was placed inside of Cannon, and we wanted to zone in on that particular area and let him inform us a little more on how exactly that fitted into the formation of Cannon County.
I would have swore Bradyville would have been part of it.
Bradyville was a part of the original Rutherford County. That's right. Correct, yes.
Because that just sits right there. It's like Auburn County and Wilson County, just, I think, what a highway divides them.
That's, yes.
So that's okay. Auburn County is part of Cannon County now, and so is Bradyville, and so is Porterfield, and so is Reedyville, or part of it. Part of Reedyville is in Rutherford still, isn't it?
Some of the mail routes still go to around the Kittrell area, I believe. Originally, the county line, well, there's some debate on exactly where the county line was and it was originally formed. When Rutherford County was created in 1803 or 4, the county line was placed about at what they call Reedy's Mill. which was the area there in Reederville today. But in 1807, when Warren County was established, they moved the Rutherford County line up to the area of probably around the old Riverside Cemetery. So that became the Rutherford's new line. So that was from that area back over to Reederville, and as you go south was probably the area that was placed in Cannon County when it was formed.
Well, that's
in 36.
a large area, really.
Yes, it was a large area, and it was heavily homesteaded at the time. In the 1830s, and it was a highly populated area. And we normally describe that area as pretty much as what we call the Brawley Creek area, or a branch of what was called the Brawley Creek that ran into the East Fork of the Stones River. So and that included what we call the old Carson Fork area too, over there around Burt, and over in that area, Bergen, and those places over there was also part of Rutherford County. That was the frontier of Rutherford in those days. Yes.
Okay, you haven't written a book yet, have you?
I've done several publications on the county over the years. I did one originally on Brawley Creek, which I still have some. I did the book in, I believe it was 1997. It was just a private publication, and I still have a few of those books around. It's not hardbound. It's a kind of a paperback book. It sort of talks a little bit about the area of the old Brawley Creek area and the Brawley Fork.
Okay.
We are working, I've been working for several years now on a Cannon County history, and I don't know where that's going to lead me. We've got about 200 manuscript pages done on that, and it's primarily focused in on the early settlements that were in the area of the East Fork of the Stones. And we are still collecting data on that and trying to research it as clearly as we possibly can, so that there's a lot of things happened in this area of the East Fork long before there were counties formed. And I think that's one of the really interesting parts of studying the East Fork of the Stones River is the fact that how it became settled and during those years. You know, the first mail route that came through this area was what we call the old Stagecoach Road. A lot of people are familiar with that in our history.
I think it's still referred to as that, isn't it?
It is. And it later became a turnpike. And of course, now you can still travel over the old 70th highway there, and it's still part of the old turnpike during Civil War days. But that area, I've often wondered how it would have been different, though, if the mail route had not been established through that area early on. I don't know where Reedy or Charles Reedy would have been interested in buying land and building a mill there or not at that time if there wasn't a possibility of a route of a stagecoach road that's going to go through that area. So that's some of the things that I think I find interesting about that area of our county.
Well, we refer to that as the Reederville Mill, and I'm assuming that's what you're referring to.
Yes, that's correct.
And that is still standing, still operational. At one time, I actually did think it was going to bite the dust because everything, homeless people were living in there. There was graffiti all over it, and I thought, what a shame. And then the man from Bell Buckle, Tom Brady, stepped in, and Tom's interest was not so much being open for business, it was restoring that mill to its operational glory, and he did. And of course, now there's a restaurant in there, but the mill is, the last time I was down there, looked great, and it's something to see because they did grind flour or wheat and corn and whatever else, because he sold grits and flour and everything that he had ground in that mill. So, that was great that they were able to take something that I thought was going to bite the dust. Now, there was some controversy as to the river had changed course over the years. And so the dam that they had, that weir dam, was at one time they were trying to move it over or redirect the water, and you can't put equipment in the river. That's not allowed. So I know that several people from the state came up and looked at it, and they talked about it. Now, whether they ever did that or not, I don't know. But yeah, he wanted it back just like it was. And he did a pretty good job of it, too. But we have a lot of books, Robert, and you can find some at the Art Center. Our library has a great genealogical department. I get so many calls from people, and they want me to, and most of them are from Texas, I will tell you. And they want me to go back. They're going through their history, family history, and they had family that may have settled here or lived somewhere around here. And at that time, I don't even think they had set the lines for what county Cannon County was. So their family could have been anywhere around here, back from the 1800s. Well, it takes a lot of time to research things like that. But our library does have the equipment and the material that you can do that. And I'm sure you get calls as the county historian about things like that too.
I do, and I do get calls from out of state, often about, just like you indicated, you know, Texas, Missouri, and places out west where people just, you know, seem to have moved on, you know, which seems to be a part of our Cannon County history, that they lived here for a short period of time, and then they just seen, I guess, opportunities they felt like were better westward, so they just moved west. But they still want to come back, and they want to know about, you know, their ancestors and where they lived in parts of the county and so forth. So it is. I think Cannon County was one of the migratory paths of people traveling west. It surely was.
There was a lot of them that went to Michigan to work too, that have moved back since then, a younger generation, but they went up there to work in the factories, car factories and everything. And now a lot of them have moved back to our area. And yes, I think there must have been a lot of them went to Texas, because that's where most of my phone calls come from.
I think that's true, yes. I think that's very much true. A lot of the Texas counties have people that had roots here in their own county.
You might show them a couple of those books that we have.
Well, I did want to mention really what the Cannon County Historical Society was formed in 1976 was really to create a history of the county. That's really was its original purpose. But we've continued over the years and continued to do things elsewise. But I think one of the more classic books that there was on our county is this one here. I don't know if you can pick that up or not on there, but now it's Dr. Mason's History of Cannon County, and we still have a few of these books available. They are $40, but they are collector's items, and they will not ever be reprinted. So this book has some original photos in it. They're rather small, but they are original photographs. But it's a good narrative of the history of our county, and it was put together by a group of people that saw the need of having a historical society in their county originally. There were several publications after that the county had adopted, but they are limited in number, and I don't know exactly how many we have left. But one of the latter books that was done, which was really done well, was the pictorial history of Cannon County, and this is really loaded with many photographs of the early history of the county. And we really admire this book and the way it was put together. This cost on this is $100, and you can contact the Historical Society, the library here, or here at the Chamber of Commerce, I believe, that has copies of this book, if you'd like to have one. So we're really proud of these publications that was done by previous members of the society.
Well, I lived here when this one was done, the pictorial one. And I will tell you, it's one of the better sellers, mainly because of the pictures. People like pictures of things, and what you did was you bought as many pages as you wanted, and you put pictures and information about your family and things. So, yeah, it's a great book, and people that a lot of times the kids moved on, but their parents still live here. And if the parents had to go stay with the children due to their age or whatever, I've had kids, the children come back and buy that book for their parents because it had the pictures in it. They were having difficulty reading, but they could look at the pictures. So yes, there's several books at the chamber that pertain to Cannon County history. There's one of Auburn Town School that's a good book, and it's a newer version of that. But is there anything else, Robert, that you would?
Well, I would like, maybe since you mentioned Auburn Town, the book that they first done on the schools was an excellent book, and they are still struggling, I think, or somewhat, trying to get together a history of Auburn Town. And the Historical Society over there is very active, and I've been a time or two. I've been over and visited with them, but they are a good organization over there, and I think hopefully their book that they will have sometime down the road will be something we'll be proud of for the county.
Okay, well, you know, you can always join the Historical Society. It's not an elite club. Right.
That's correct. We
and the
enjoy
fees
them.
are not very much.
Well, you know, we try to keep the membership low on that part of it, the cost, because we feel like that's probably should be secondary. But it's only $5 a year, and with that you'll get. Well, I mean, you'll get one of my newsletters. You know, so you'll be up to date on what the Historical Society is doing. So we're not pressing much on the cost of being a member, but we do try to generate a little bit of funds through other ways, such as books and other publications that we hope to have that would help generate funds for the Historical Society. And so we encourage anyone interested in the history of our county to come to our meetings, and we enjoy anyone that's interested in in hearing about our county's history.
There's a lot of people that are involved with history, if it's Civil War or whatever it may be, and there's a lot of information out there about this in Cannon County, and the state even did a Civil War's trail pamphlet, and of course Woodbury has several sites pertaining to that. So, and you always have, I like the one you have every year, the meeting, that show and tell. That's where anybody can come and bring something and tell about it. It's like kindergarten.
Yes, we really think the show and tell is really one of the nuts and bolts of the organization, really, because we have people in our own society that come up with some really interesting things that have happened in the past in the county, and so we try to do that about twice a year. Maybe one time anyway. So, but anyway, we do offer that as another possibility of broadening the base of this county's historical society.
So, if you wanted to become a member, Robert, what do they need to call you?
Just call us at home or contact any of our officers there, or any of our members that you may know.
Who are your officers?
Well, we have Charlie Harrell is vice president, and we have my wife is secretary, Carolyn Bush, and we have a treasurer, Shirley Young. You can contact any of these people if you like. If you're interested in being a member. Sometimes, if you keep in mind coming to the meetings, sometimes you can join at that time or whatever. But we give you an opportunity to have refreshments and that sort of thing. A little get together before we have the meetings a lot of times, and that generally sparks a conversation on people wanting to be members of the organization.
I found one thing about if you want to draw a crowd, if you have door prizes and food, they will come.
I'll be there.
So we wish you the best, and we hope that, and if you need numbers for any of these people, you can always call the chamber and I'll be glad to direct you in the right direction. Because we think the history of Cannon County is interesting. A lot of people out there that are looking, you know, they're looking for things, and a lot of people call and they're searching for things, and it is a time-consuming thing to try to go back and find relatives from the 1800s. Believe me, it is. So really, probably your library is the best resource for that, because they do have a great genealogy department, and you're always welcome to come visit that. But if you want to know about the history, listen, Short Mountain is steep in history. So they always try to get somebody to speak from different areas of the county. Robert, I thank you for being on, and I wish you luck with your, as president. I don't know if you're elected for so many years or just
Well,
when you get tired, you say, this is it.
When we just get tired of it, that's probably what happens. Well, thank you all for having me on.
Well, that's quite all right. I'm going to go to our next guest, who has been sitting here patiently. And actually, he kind of fits into all of this that he's been talking about. You are the new owners of what's known as the Corners in Reedville. We have two corners. One's on Doolittle. This is the one that was the house in Reedville.
Correct.
And your name is Jay Landrum.
Correct, yes. Me and my wife Amanda just recently
Right.
purchased the Corners.
All right. And you are living there?
We are living there. We plan to open it as a bed and breakfast, as well as continue with the event venue.
Right. It's great. If you've never seen it, actually it's in close proximity to the Reedville Mill. And was it a Civil War house? Is that?
It was used as headquarters during the Civil War
Right.
by both the South and the North. During the
Not
Battle
at the
of
same time, I hope.
Yeah, well, yeah. Once the North overcame it, and
Right.
yeah, so it was used during the Battle of Murfreesboro, and then once the North overtook it, then they became headquarters for the North.
Well, it's a beautiful old house.
It
How
is.
many, when you do the bed and breakfast, how many rooms will you have available?
It'll be 3 guest rooms available.
Okay. Well, that's a good number.
Right, and being that since it's so old, it qualifies as a bed and breakfast homestay. So,
Okay.
yeah, you can use the three bedrooms will do.
All right. Well, that works good. And you have just joined the chamber, which we're so proud to have you, because actually as a business and as a private entity too, and another event area that you can use for weddings or get-togethers of any
Right,
kind,
and
really.
reunions and-
You could use that,
Correct.
right?
Absolutely.
If you have visitors coming in, and we do have an inn, but we need some more rooms for people that come to this area and need a place to stay, so I think this is great. Is it open right now, Jay, or are you?
We're still in the process of opening it. Hopefully, within the next couple of weeks, we'll have everything finalized and be able to open for business.
Now, you are planning a grand opening, and that will be on November,
25th.
well, I wrote it down in there, and I didn't write it down here.
Yeah, November
Okay, I'm going to
25th.
take his word for it. That's on a Saturday.
All right.
In fact, that'll be right after Thanksgiving.
Correct, yes. Right, everything's
All right. And it's going to be at 12 noon. There will be refreshments. I don't know about door prizes.
Well, we'll see.
There will be refreshments there, but it's great to go see the house. And of course, if you don't for some reason make it then, he's also going to be part of our tour of homes for the Lions Club on December 2nd. And we have a great list of homes. We have 2 in the Reedville area, and so that works out really well. And is there anything else you'd like to talk about as far as the house is concerned, Jay?
Well, just that I'm extremely excited to be a part of the history there. A lot of prominent families in Middle Tennessee have owned it, and we're honored to be part of that history.
What prompted you to buy that as that? You just wanted to be self-employed?
That's one of the benefits of it, but my wife's parents live right down the road, so we've passed it for
okay.
years and never even thought about the opportunity of owning it. And when it recently came on the market, we thought, it's always kind of my dream to host people, some a passion of ours. So we thought, what the heck, let's put an offer in and see what happens.
That takes a special person.
Well, I appreciate
It does, to do that, to open your home to guests that come in, because
Yeah.
it just, not everybody can do that.
Yeah, well, this will be a new venture for us, but we're excited about
Well,
it.
just be nice. Be hospitable.
Absolutely.
That's part of it. But I'm so glad that you've joined, and I'm glad I get to meet your wife. But we will do a ribbon cutting at 12 noon on the 25th.
Can't wait.
All right. Well, I'm anxious to see I won't be able to come to the tour of homes because I work at the Lions Club that night. But yeah, that's a great venue
Oh, you're welcome
for
anytime.
us to
so.
see. All right. Well, I thank both of you for being with us. I'm going to go on to the events now. You're welcome to stay with us, or if you'd like to leave, that'll be okay too.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Robert, you staying or?
Well, we can just stay, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's fine too. Like I say, we're heading into the holiday seasons, and of course, as always, Cannon County Spares they try to make it as festive for you as they can. And of course, one gentleman that was supposed to be here today that wasn't able to make it was Mr. Tom Duggan, also known as Elvis, because he will do the Christmas with Elvis at the Art Center on December 16th and 17th. It will be a 7:30 show on Saturday and a 2 o'clock matinee on Sunday. If you haven't seen this man, now he doesn't impersonate Elvis. He doesn't dress like him, but oh my gosh, can he sing like him? He's done 4 shows in DeKalb County, and he's done one here. I've gone to all of them, and I don't get tired of it, but I'm an Elvis fan. And he also has a gospel group that comes with him and backup singers. He has a great band, and you'll recognize a lot of the people in the band. You have Nick Noakes, and of course Nick can play anything, and really he can sing too, but he doesn't do that. Tom does that. But oh, he does a wonderful job. And I know last year he came to the Art Center, and people still talk to me about it. So I'm hoping that all those people will come back and make it worth their while, because it takes a lot to get all that together and to practice as long and get that many people to come here for a show like that. And the Art Center has a great studio for that. So we just want to invite everybody to that. And that will be December, what did I tell you, the 16th and the 17th. And you can always call the Art Center at 615-563. I forgot the phone number. I got the 563 one. Oh, well, anyway, he's gonna be, you can call the Art Center, and they'll be glad to reserve seats for you. You can book the seats ahead of time, and that would be great too. Also at the Art Center, we have some other things that will be going on for them. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever is one of their Young at Art series, and that will be school matinees. They do this in the spring. They also will do this for this. There's a lot of children in school that have never seen live entertainment. They've been to shows, but this is live entertainment that they get, and they enjoy it. And it's amazing how many school buses that pull up here from other counties and unload children. They go in there It's not a real long show, so, you know, children's attention span is not real great sometimes. But they get them in there, they enjoy it, they have a big time, and they get them out, and everybody gets loaded and goes to where they're supposed to go. So that's one of the things the Art Center does that takes care of. And they will have public performances of this on December 9th and 16th for the adults that come and see these. But the children's is December 5th through the 16th. So that's, they'll have the Seussical, the musical will be coming in February. And also a great gift idea for the arts that you can get someone that has everything is their season tickets for the 2018 season, the Art Center. And it will be $60, and for that you get 6 shows. And I don't think you can go anywhere for 6 shows for $60, but that's a great gift to give someone because they have some great shows coming up. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Flaming Idiots, that sounds interesting, huh? Grease, the Titanic, and then there were none, and then Hello Dolly. And now they also have concerts during these times too. They're not on here, and those are separate from the season tickets. Also, one of the things coming up in November that we really get excited about is the Cannon Country Christmas Open House. And that's at businesses really all over Cannon County, but mainly on the square. And they have so much planned this year. Friday night at 5 o'clock, they will bring Santa into town on a covered wagon pulled by mules. There'll be 2 wagons, and you can have free wagon rides around the courthouse. And listen, last year I think they could have stayed till midnight and there would have still been people riding around. They're also going to have s'mores on the square. Ethan Campbell with Edward Jones is setting up his fire pit, and they're going to do s'mores. They have a live nativity scene, which will be sponsored by the Dillon Street Church. We'll have their live nativity there. They're going to have Santa House on the square, and when Santa arrives, he will go to that house for pictures, and you bring your own camera. Now, we did this last year, and it worked out much better, but I do have to tell you that you limit your pictures to 3 per family, because there's usually long lines for that, and we had so many people that had their cell phones that would take 30 pictures, you know. Well, you've got a whole line of people out here. So I don't want to riot on the square. So if you can limit your pictures to 3, it would be appreciated. And then, of course, there's going to be a treasure hunt with the elves that will be all over town. There's Christmas music. The businesses go all out for this. They have refreshments and door prizes. They have sales. It's just a great time, and we had a huge crowd last year, and we hope it's even bigger this year. So and it's always the week before Thanksgiving. So if you're looking to start your Christmas shopping early, this is the place, because you'll find something. We have jewelry stores, antique stores, gift stores, little bit of everything. Saturday on the square will be the Mutt Strut, which is if you can bring your dogs and cats and have their pictures made. Now, please, no horses or anything like that. And all of your animals need to be on a leash, because there'll be a lot of other animals there, because some people would rather take pictures of their animals rather than their kids. So there'll be a big crowd for that, but it will be on the square, and you can come. There will be a photographer for this. So bring your pet and get their picture taken. And also on Saturdays will be the Holiday Bazaar at the Art Center. This is their craft show. It's inside. Lots of artisans, lots of crafts. That's a great thing. It will be from 9 till 4 p.m. on Saturday. And then also the flea market will have their flea market flurry on that day too. And they have a lot of special events down there, and I think there's a lot of discounts on that too, and they have a big time. So those events will be on Saturday. The ones downtown, the Mutt Strut will be on Saturday, but on Friday night will be when all the stores and Santa will be there. So we look forward to seeing you on that. The next performances at the Art Center will be The Man Who Came to Dinner, and that will begin on Friday, November 10th. And I'm going to give you their phone number now. It's 615-563-2787. And if you need to make reservations, you can always call that number. If you don't get that number, you can call the chamber, and I'll be glad to give it to you. We're into December, and of course on the 2nd, we always refer to that as Lions Club Day in Cannon County. And that's because you start with Pancakes with Santa at the Lions Club building. Starts at 7 o'clock, and Santa and his wife will be there. And you can get pictures, take your pictures there. Also, at noon is the Christmas parade. And as far as I know, and I get lots of calls, I've already gotten them, anybody can be in the Christmas parade. There's no charge to be in it. You will have to go out to the Lions Club building, which is located on Lehman Street in Cannon County, to line up for this, because we have a big Christmas parade. And they try to get you in groups, so be patient on that day, because it's a big job to put that parade on. It really is. But we love it, and we want you to come. And if you've got an entry, a float, a car, if you've got animals, they usually try to keep them in a certain area, mainly because of the fire trucks. You don't want the horses right there behind the fire trucks. When they decide to make a little noise, it gets everybody tore up. But the parade, even if you don't have something you want to put in it, you might come to it. It's a good parade. And that will be on the 2nd at 12 noon. And then the tour of homes begins. Ticket sales will begin at 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. Now, that's just the ticket sales. You can get them at the Lions Club building. And of course, the Lions Club will be on the tour also, because I'll have the village set up and the Christmas village, and that attracts a lot of attention. There'll be refreshments there. We will have the Christmas ornaments for sale there. We also, the nuts are in, the pecans and the walnuts and the mix and everything are on sale right now at different businesses throughout the county, throughout Woodbury. So that's lots of people wait for that. If you're going to buy your nuts, that's probably where you need to get them from, is the Lions Club. And then let me see what else goes on that day. But anyway, the tour of homes, we have 6 homes on there right now, and they're spread out through the county. There's some in the Pleasant View area. There's 2 in the Reedville area. There's 1 on John Bragg Highway that's closer in, and 1 over in Houston Hills. So you still have time if you want to put your home on there. You can always call the chamber and let me know, and I'll let the committee know about that. But that draws a lot of interest because I guess people just like to go in people's homes and see. But if you're going to decorate real big, share it. I think that's great. I think that's real neat. I like Christmas and everything that goes with it, and I certainly like the decorations. So one thing I forgot in November is our Veterans Day events, and they will be on the 10th. And usually there's 2 days of those, but this year they're combining it all on Friday, November 10th, and that will be it will start at Cannon County High School. And they'll do their presentations there, and then the parade, I believe, downtown will be at 1 o'clock. So, yeah, go out and thank everybody, present and past, that has fought for us. And that's probably not a bad thing, but that will all be on November 10th. And you'll be hearing more about that. Friday, December 8th, one of my favorite events is the fundraiser for the Senior Citizen Center, and it's called the Christmas Gala. Tickets will be on sale for that, and you will enjoy music. They have a silent auction. They have a great dinner. And you will be sitting at some of the most beautifully decorated tables you've ever seen. I've been to a lot of these in a lot of places, and nobody, we're right in there with all of them. They don't have a thing on the ladies that sit those tables at the Senior Center. So you can always call the Senior Center at 563-5304. And I don't believe the tickets are out yet, but they will be shortly. So that'll be on December 8th, and that's on a Friday evening. I don't know how much more I could tell you other than just the things that we have on a monthly basis, like the meetings and everything. And I'm sure there's many churches in the area that will have events. The Coats for Cannon will also be on November 10th and 11th. And of course, that is put on by the Lions Club. If you need a coat and you live in Cannon County, you're welcome to come out there and get one. There's no charge, but you do have to be there. And if you're getting them for your children, you have to bring your children. And on Friday night, it will be from 4 till 7:30, and on Saturday from 9 until 1:30. And I think that's all I have for you, but I do want to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you in December.